Seon-woo is in the finals of a high school Taekwondo championship, going up against Dae-young. She's not just any athlete either. She is a national-level talent who keeps taking home titles, so everyone expects her to win this match easily. But right before the fight begins, her coach gives her a shocking order. He wants Seon-woo to lose on purpose, so Dae-young can be crowned champion instead. Dae-young is the chairman's daughter, and the coach claims there is a reward waiting for Seon-woo if she plays along. Money now, and a promise to help her join a professional team later. Seon-woo is torn inside, but in the end, she forces herself to throw the match. Then Dae-young crosses the line. Instead of just taking the win, she humiliates Seon-woo, saying she was always meant to be a loser. That one comment snaps something in Seon-woo. She surges back with pure anger and attacks Dae-young relentlessly. After the match, Seon-woo heads to the locker room, but trouble follows her in. Bong-soon and two of his friends block her path and pressure her about why she attacked the winner. Seon-woo ignores them, and moments later, Dae-young also shows up, piling on more insults. She mocks Seon-woo for being poor and points out that Seon-woo already accepted the money from her father, so she should stop causing problems. Seon-woo holds herself back longer than most people could. She stays calm, only warning them to watch what they say, and then tries to leave. But Bong-soon suddenly slaps her across the head. That is the final trigger. Seon-woo explodes, and she beats all of them without mercy. Dae-young can only freeze in fear, watching the violence she helped provoke. This is how everything starts to fall apart. This is I Kill You. Years later, Seon-woo is no longer a celebrated athlete. After graduating, she is struggling just to survive. She works multiple delivery jobs, including transporting food packages and driving elementary school kids, all to keep paying for her mother's treatment in the hospital. Every day, she still visits her mom, who has not been able to get surgery yet because Seon-woo cannot afford the full cost. One day, while sitting in the hospital and desperately trying to figure out how to raise the remaining money, Seon-woo sees a news report on TV. It is about a hit-and-run case, and the main suspect is a young woman who happens to be the granddaughter of the powerful owner of Bunan Construction. A YouTuber uploaded footage of the incident online, but because the suspect comes from an influential family, the investigation is dragging on. At the top of that family is Mr. Han, and he is furious. He lashes out at his lawyers for failing to quickly clean up what he sees as a small problem involving his beloved granddaughter. With pressure mounting, he brings in a former prosecutor, Director Yang, to handle the situation. And Director Yang does not sugarcoat anything. He warns Mr. Han to sell company shares before things get worse, especially because there are rumors the company is about to be investigated for money laundering. Mr. Han listens carefully to Director Yang's advice. For him, nothing matters more than protecting the future of his granddaughter, Ji-on. At the same time, in another place, a young man named Ho Jung is having a serious discussion with a YouTuber. He pushes for a follow-up video about Ji-on to be uploaded as soon as possible because he wants to see her behind bars. His actions come from years of resentment. No matter how hard he works for the family, his grandfather always prioritizes Ji-on, even though Ho Jung is not a blood relative. He does not care that Director Yang has been brought back to handle the case. All that matters to him is that Ji-on ends up in prison. The next morning, while Seon-woo is doing her delivery job, the children she is driving start taking photos and videos of her. It annoys her at first, but then she realizes why they are doing it. They believe she might be the hit-and-run suspect who is going viral across the country. Seon-woo is confused until she sees the footage herself. The woman involved in the accident looks almost exactly like her. Still shaken, Seon-woo decides to head home, unable to stop thinking about the stranger with her face. Not long after, Director Yang approaches her and asks for a private conversation. He introduces himself and gets straight to the point. He wants Seon-woo to temporarily take on the identity of Ji-on. The reason is simple. The two of them look so alike that most people would never be able to tell them apart. In exchange, Director Yang offers to cover every hospital expense for Seon-woo's mother, including the overdue bills and the surgery. He understands how overwhelming this sounds, but he gives Seon-woo only until the next morning to decide. Seon-woo immediately refuses. She refuses to be humiliated again like she was back in high school, especially if it means protecting someone described in the news as a drug addict responsible for a deadly hit-and-run. She walks away, but Director Yang stops her and reveals another version of the story. According to him, Ji-on was not the driver. She was set up by people trying to destroy her grandfather's company. While Ji-on is still physically and mentally unstable, Director Yong wants Seon-woo to stand in for her and help resolve the case through the courts. Before making any decision, Seon-woo returns to the hospital. There she watches a video uploaded by a YouTuber named Kwang, showing Ji-on living comfortably at home, despite all the evidence already seized by prosecutors. With her mother's surgery still unpaid, Seon-woo is torn between her morals and her desperation. After thinking it through carefully, she finally agrees to Director Yong's proposal, but on one condition. She wants to meet Ji-on in person first. Soon after, they set off on a long journey to Jeju, where Ji-on is hiding for the time being. Once they arrive, Director Yong immediately takes Seon-woo's phone as a security measure, making sure nothing can leak or put them in danger. Not long after, he finally brings Seon-woo face-to-face with Ji-on. The moment is shocking for both of them, because their resemblance is almost uncanny. Instead of welcoming the idea, Ji-on clearly does not want Seon-woo to take her place. She does not want an innocent person to carry the weight of her mistakes. As Director Yong tries to persuade her, Seon-woo overhears their conversation. Listening closely, Seon-woo begins to realize the truth. Ji-on was not actually responsible for the hit and run. The real driver was a friend who has already fled to the United States. Soon after, Ji-on suddenly collapses due to her asthma. With no safe way to take her to a hospital, Seon-woo makes a crucial decision. She agrees to help Ji-on and step into this dangerous situation. Later on, Director Yong meets Ho-jung at his cafe. Ho-jung pretends to be concerned about Ji-on's condition, but his real goal is to find out where she is hiding so he can expose her to the public. Even without fully understanding Ho-jung's true intentions, Director Yong refuses to reveal Ji-on's location, despite Ho-jung being her stepbrother. Director Yong's real reason for coming is to warn Ho-jung not to act recklessly. He makes it clear that anyone trying to push Ji-on into prison will face serious consequences. He even reminds Ho-jung that if it were not for his manipulative mother, he would never have been part of the family in the first place. Enraged by those words, Ho-jung lashes out and smashes a glass against Director Yong's head. Director Yong does not fight back. He simply makes Ho-jung face the harsh truth that no matter how hard he tries, he will always be nothing more than a backup in this family. Once Ji-on starts feeling a bit better, she wakes up and receives a call from Ho-jung, telling her to come to Hotel California at 6 o'clock. She prepares to go, but Seon-woo stops her, reminding her that she is there to take her place. Before Seon-woo leaves, Ji-on reveals a terrifying truth. Director Yong is far more dangerous than he appears. He brought her here on purpose so he could find a scapegoat for everything she has done. Director Yong's real plan is far darker than Seon-woo imagined. He intends to kill her and use her body to convince the public that Ji-on died from a drug overdose. Realizing how dangerous this is, Ji-on urges Seon-woo to leave immediately. She does not want Seon-woo to suffer the consequences of her sins. Wearing Ji-on's clothes and bracelet, Seon-woo manages to slip out of the hideout and tries to escape from everything. But on the road, two thugs hired by Ho-jung suddenly appear. They believe she is Ji-on. They smash the car window and attempt to kidnap her, completely underestimating who they are dealing with. Seon-woo fights back fiercely, landing blow after blow with her trained skills. Even so, the two men eventually manage to overwhelm her and try to take her to Ho-jung. As they open the trunk, they are suddenly confronted by two other thugs who also intend to take Seon-woo away. Chaos erupts. Soon after, Ho-jung receives a report that the men he hired failed to capture Ji-on, and their whereabouts are now unknown. Furious, Ho-jung orders his people to track her down at all costs, even if it means going to war with Director Yong. Elsewhere, Director Yong is calmly overseeing a gold transaction with buyers from China, following Mr. Han's instructions. He then gets a call from his subordinates, informing him that Ho-jung's men nearly ruined their plan. Director Yong thanks them for handling the situation, but stresses that the most important thing is keeping those people contained until the hallucinogen party begins. Director Yong's men soon arrive at Hotel California. With help from the hotel manager and a staff member named Young Jae, they are taken to a room that Director Yong had reserved. Inside, they tie Seon-woo to a chair. Not long after, a drunk man starts pounding on the door, shouting and demanding to know where his wife is. Annoyed by the noise, one of the thugs opens the door. In an instant, the drunk man attacks both men inside the room, brutally beating them. After taking down the two thugs, the man frees Seon-woo and reveals that he is a hired hand, sent to take Ji-on away on Ho-jung's orders. Seon-woo is then connected to Ho-jung. Still unaware of the full danger she is in, she explains that she is not Ji-on and that she was brought here because of Director Yong. Ho-jung only laughs. To him, this just sounds like convincing acting from his stepsister. He does not care what happens to her now. If Ji-on wants to stay alive, she must sign over her wealth. The hired man prepares to take Seon-woo away, but she suddenly fights back. Angered by her resistance, he decides to kill her. At that moment, the other thug, who turns out to still be alive, throws an axe from behind, killing him on the spot. A final fight breaks out between Seon-woo and the remaining thug, but it ends quickly, with Seon-woo easily overpowering him. After taking them down, Seon-woo tries to escape the hotel. She sprints through the corridors until she runs into two of Ho-jung's hired thugs inside an elevator. She fights back and tries to get away, but her escape fails when she ends up trapped in another hallway. Another fight breaks out, and this time Seon-woo fully shows just how skilled she really is. Once she defeats them, she keeps running. With more people closing in, she is forced to hide inside a hotel room, only to discover it is actually where a staff member named Young-jae lives. Seon-woo's sudden disappearance throws the entire hotel into chaos. People scatter everywhere, searching for her. The hotel manager quickly calls Director Yong to report what is happening, which only makes him furious. He orders an immediate search while he heads to Hotel California himself. Seon-woo asks Young-jae for help, but because he has special needs, there is only so much he can do. His frightened shouting ends up giving away their location, allowing Ho-jung's men to find them. They force the door open, determined to capture the woman their boss wants. Seon-woo has no choice but to fight again, taking them down one by one. With Young-jae's guidance, Seon-woo escapes through a service food elevator. She reaches the first floor and tries to sneak out quietly, but her path is blocked. Several of Director Yong's men are already waiting at the hotel entrance. Cornered, Seon-woo insists she is not the woman they are looking for, but they already know her true identity, leaving her no choice but to fight. She faces dozens of men who try to restrain her. Even though she puts up a fierce resistance, the numbers overwhelm her, and she is finally taken down with a stun weapon. Worried about her, Young-jae searches through a hidden part of the hotel used by drug addicts. He opens room after room until he finds Seon-woo unconscious inside one of them. He manages to wake her up, but the sound of approaching footsteps forces him to hide behind a chair. A man named Tae-won enters the room and prepares to inject Seon-woo with drugs to make her die from an overdose, while watching footage of the hit and run case on YouTube. Just as he tries to inject her, Seon-woo suddenly fights back and knocks him unconscious. Seeing that footage shakes her deeply, as she realizes Ji-on is far more cruel than she ever imagined. Seon-woo escapes with Young-jae, but when they reach the hotel lobby, Ho-jung has already arrived and intends to take her away. Seon-woo and Young-jae flee once again, using the service elevator to reach the kitchen level at the top of the hotel. Once they reach the upper area, Seon-woo and Young-jae try to escape, but Ho-jung's men arrive at the same time. A brief fight breaks out, and Seon-woo makes a painful decision. She runs, leaving Young-jae behind to save herself. Not long after, Ho-jung arrives and is furious. He cannot believe his three men were taken down so easily by the woman he thinks is Ji-on. He is about to leave to continue the hunt when loud noises come from the food storage room. It turns out Young-jae is still there. Ho-jung drags Young-jae in front of the hotel manager and aggressively interrogates him about Ji-on's whereabouts. Young-jae genuinely has no idea, which only fuels Ho-jung's anger. When Ho-jung tries to strike him, Young-jae reacts in panic and accidentally hits Ho-jung's neck. That mistake leads to him being beaten by Ho-jung's men. Meanwhile, Seon-woo is still trying to escape. She reaches the rooftop access door and struggles to force it open with a knife. Just as she succeeds, she realizes Ho-jung is already waiting for her. She tries to fight back, but one of his men attacks her from behind with a metal baton, knocking her unconscious. When Seon-woo wakes up, she finds herself tied up. Ho-jung presents a document transferring company shares, making it clear this is what he once signed. Seon-woo pretends to cooperate, hoping for an opening. As Ho-jung moves closer to untie her, Director Yong suddenly appears and steps in to stop him. A heated confrontation erupts, turning into a violent clash between the two sides. As the chaos unfolds, Seon Woo works to free her hands. Ho Jung is soon left helpless. Director Yang reaches into Ho Jung's pocket and finds the transfer document. After reading it, he tears it apart, making it clear that someone like Ho Jung could never truly belong to Mr. Han's family. He reveals that the accident footage traces back to Ho Jung himself, and that betrayal is something Mr. Han will never tolerate. In his twisted sense of justice, the only way to settle this is death. With a single strike, Ho Jung is killed. After that, Director Yang orders his men to leave and clean up everything that happened inside the hotel. Shortly after, he receives a call from Ji-yeon asking if everything has been taken care of. She wants all of this to end tonight. Seon Woo then speaks with Ji-yeon over the phone and realizes the horrifying truth. This entire situation was a carefully planned scheme between Ji-yeon and Director Yang. Seon Woo is filled with regret, realizing she helped someone far more ruthless than she ever imagined. Moments later, one of Director Yang's men enters the room carrying a small box. Inside is a syringe filled with drugs, meant to be injected into Seon Woo. The plan is simple and cruel. Her death will be staged as Ji-yeon dying from an overdose. Before using the syringe, Director Yang calmly explains the truth about Ji-yeon. On the night of the hit and run, Ji-yeon was fully conscious. She did not lose control by accident. She deliberately drove into two people, even though her friends tried to stop her. She believed she would escape any legal consequences, convinced that her grandfather would protect her no matter what. For a while, it seemed like everything would go her way. But once the crash video spread online through a YouTuber, the situation spiraled out of control. Public pressure grew too strong, and even Mr. Han could not completely cover up the crime. The prosecutors he had bribed were powerless, which forced Director Yang to step in and clean up the mess. At first, Director Yang had no clear solution. That changed the moment he saw footage of Seon Woo and realized how identical she looked to Ji-yeon. From that point on, the plan was set. He would gain Seon Woo's trust, create a carefully staged narrative, and make her believe Ji-yeon was innocent. In the end, Seon Woo would be killed with drugs, allowing the public to believe Ji-yeon had died from an overdose, something that fit her past drug history perfectly. As Director Yang prepares to inject her, a message suddenly appears on Seon Woo's phone. He checks it and reveals that it is from the hospital. The message confirms that Seon Woo's mother has just passed away. The news devastates her. Grief quickly turns into rage, and all she can think about now is breaking free and taking revenge for everything Ji-yeon has done to her. Seon Woo manages to knock Director Yang down and immediately frees young Jae. But before she can escape, Director Yang gets back on his feet and attacks again. This time, Seon Woo fights back with everything she has. Using a white cane, she finally knocks him unconscious and prepares to leave. Before escaping the hotel, Seon Woo makes one final move. She heads to the room where Ji-yeon's friends are staying and secretly records them while they are using drugs. Her goal is simple: to send the footage to the same YouTuber who exposed the hit and run, so the public can finally see the truth about Ji-yeon's lifestyle and crimes. After that, Seon Woo goes straight to Ji-yeon's location. What she does not realize is that Director Yang has regained consciousness once again. After dropping young Jae off somewhere safe, Seon Woo storms into Ji-yeon's house and takes down the guards one by one, fully prepared to face Ji-yeon herself. Seon Woo makes her way inside, only to find Ji-yeon already waiting. Ji-yeon opens fire, forcing Seon Woo into a brutal fight. Seon Woo manages to overpower her, beating her until she collapses, bleeding and unconscious. When Ji-yeon wakes up, she realizes she is now tied up, wearing clothes that Seon Woo deliberately switched earlier. Seon Woo then pulls out a syringe filled with a lethal dose of drugs, enough to kill anyone through an overdose. Seon Woo makes it clear that if Ji-yeon wants to stay alive, she must contact her grandfather and follow very specific instructions that Seon Woo has prepared. At this point, only her grandfather has the power to stop Director Yang. Any mistake or attempt to play games would cost Ji-yeon her life. Sensing that Director Yang has arrived, Seon Woo releases Ji-yeon from her restraints. Director Yang pretends to make a phone call, secretly creating an opening for Ji-yeon to attack from behind. Seon Woo could have stopped Ji-yeon, but she deliberately delays her reaction. She wants Director Yang to witness exactly what happens next. Confused by the chaos between the two identical women, Director Yang finally makes a choice. Believing he has identified the real Ji-yeon based on the clothes and bracelet he saw earlier, he moves in and injects the syringe into her neck. Ji-yeon dies from a drug overdose right there. Watching Ji-on die leaves director Young shaken. He is almost certain that the person he killed was the real Ji-on. Still, with no turning back, he forces himself to suppress his doubt. Not long after, manager No arrives to escort the young woman so she can leave for the airport. At the airport, director Young's unease turns into certainty. When he offers Ji-on a soda, she drinks it without hesitation, even though he knows the real Ji-on cannot tolerate carbonated drinks. Seon-woo does not deny who she really is. She knows that if director Young exposes her to Mr. Han, he will also expose himself as the man who killed Ji-on. Director Young understands this too. To keep everything moving forward, he asks for one final condition, that the money in the suitcase be split evenly between them. Seon-woo simply smiles and walks away. After seeing her off as she leaves the country, director Young heads back with Mr. Han's men. On the way, they stop briefly by a river, as manager No needs a moment to step away. Not long after, Mr. Han calls director Young, casually asking about the condition of his granddaughter. On the surface, it sounds like concern. In reality, it is nothing more than a distraction. Mr. Han has already arranged for director Young to be killed right there. A brief flashback reveals what happened earlier. Just before director Young arrived, Ji-on had contacted her grandfather. She asked him to eliminate director Young once she left the country, afraid that he might use everything that happened as leverage to threaten her in the future. Mr. Han simply laughed. The truth is, he had already planned to get rid of director Young after Ji-on went abroad, since he had long known too much about the man's secrets. As the story reaches its end, a final video is sent by Seon-woo to the YouTuber who has been exposing Ji-on's case all along. In the video, Seon-woo introduces herself as Ji-on and admits that the hit and run was intentional, carried out while she was under the influence of drugs. She asks for all of her crimes to be exposed to the public. She explains that this outcome is the result of being spoiled by a powerful grandfather who always allowed her to use wealth and influence to do whatever she wanted. She acknowledges that she may never face prison or true legal punishment. Instead, she makes it clear that she will end her life using the same drugs that defined her downfall. So the moral of the story is never trust rich families, fake identities, or a deal that sounds too good, because it will probably end with betrayal, chaos, and someone getting knocked out.